You spent weeks building the perfect retrieval pipeline. Your chunks are clean, yours is tuned, you retrieve 5 beautiful, relevant chunks. Then you stuff them into the prompt and the LLM ignores half of them. Sound familiar? This is called the lost-in-the-middle problem, and researchers discovered it in 2023. LLMs pay the most attention to information at the beginning and end of their context window, and they tend to ignore what's in the middle. Here's what that means for your RAG system. If you retrieve 5 chunks and stuff them in order, the model generates its answer mostly from chunks 1 and 5. The perfect answer sitting in chunk 3, completely ignored. So what do we do about it? Strategy 1 is best first ordering. You put your most relevant chunk at position 1 where it gets maximum attention. Simple, but there's a catch. The model might fixate on it and ignore supplementary info from the other chunks. Strategy 2 is the recommended approach for most RAG systems, best strategies. You place your most relevant chunks at the beginning and end of the context, and bury the least relevant ones in the middle where the model pays least attention anyway. Strategy 3 flips everything. Worst first ordering puts the least relevant chunk first and the best chunk last. The idea is the model builds up to the answer, leveraging its recency bias. Some practitioners swear by this approach. Now let's talk prompt templates. A basic RAG prompt tells the model to answer only from the provided context. But a structured template is better. It explicitly instructs the model to read all documents, handle conflicts, and admit when it doesn't know. Here's a power move: force citations. When you require the model to cite sources in bracket format like source 1, source 2, it does 2 things. It grounds the answer in actual context, and it makes hallucinations detectable. If the model cites source 3, but source 3 doesn't support the claim, you've caught it. How many chunks should you actually stuff in? The research is clear. 3 to 5 chunks is the sweet spot. Beyond that, you're adding noise faster than signal. You can even make this dynamic based on query complexity. Want to go further? Try context compression. Instead of stuffing raw chunks, you use a smaller LLM to extract only the query-relevant sentences from each chunk first. It costs an extra API call per chunk, but dramatically reduces noise, especially when your chunks are large, but only a sentence or 2 actually matters. Don't forget your token budget. Every token in your context costs money and competes for attention. A typical budget might be 4,000 tokens total, 200 for the system prompt, 3,000 for your chunks, and the rest for the question and instructions. For multi-turn conversations, you also need to budget for chat history. Let's wrap up with the practical takeaways. Lost in the middle is real, so put your best chunks at the edges. Stick to 3 to 5 chunks. Force citations to catch hallucinations. And always include explicit instructions to use only the provided context. Without them, the LLM will happily fill gaps with its training data. That's context stuffing demystified. Next episode, we tackle RAG evaluation, because building the pipeline is only half the battle. How do you actually know if your answers are correct? Subscribe so you don't miss it, and drop a comment with your biggest RAG challenge.